Good evening, everyone. We would like to call the July 23rd, 2019 called board meeting at 6:30 to order. Like I said earlier, we did do the pledge, so we will move on past that. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Nancy, second by Tom. All in favor? Before we move into the rest of the meeting, I would like to make an announcement. Out of an abundance of caution and on advice of attorney, I will be recusing myself on item number 4B, the MOU with the library, because I serve on the library board and the Board of Education. I will pass the baton for Nancy, and she will run that part of the meeting. Okay. First item up is approve the millage rate, fiscal year 2020. Chris Greiner.
Yes, ma'am.
As mentioned earlier, we've had the one more required than we had 2 public hearings. So we've had 4 public hearings. The ads have been presented as required by law. So it's staff's recommendation for the final, for the FY20 millage rate, M&O millage rate to be 17.3 mils, and for the debt service millage rate to be 2.418 mils, which is the current millage rate that we have for FY19, or previously in FY19.
Well, before I recommend approval, I just want to say to you, Chris, what an outstanding job you did in your 1 year with us. It's sad to us that you were only here for a year. I think I told you when you were here for about 2 months, it seemed like you had been here for years, and you just fit right in. You did a tremendous job, and I know you're leaving for all the right reasons. But thank you for your professionalism, your dedication, for helping us through this last few weeks when you could have just left and gone to South Carolina and left us in the rearview mirror, but you didn't do that because that's not the type of person you are. And we wish you and your family nothing but the best. But thank you for your service. I wish it had been a lot longer.
Yes, sir.
So with that,
Thank you.
I will recommend approval.
To make it simple, I will make a motion that we approve our millage rate to keep it the same as last year.
Second.
Okay, let me just, that would be for our, bond would be 2.413,
2.418.
418.
and 17.3 for our M&O.
Correct.
Okay, now we'll take your second.
Second.
Second by Tom, all in favor? That is unanimous.
Thank y'all so much. I
Thanks, Chris.
appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Appreciate you.
I'm gonna go ahead and sign it and give it to him.
Yeah, I'm going to sign and take
Okay.
over. Take over.
Okay.
Gonna hurt somebody.
Next on our agenda is the Forsyth County Public Library MOU with Kathy Carpenter and Kristin
Duschel.
Michelle.
Good evening.
Good evening. Well, we have been working for several years with the public library to make our dreams come true. Our goal was to work with the public library and get every single student in Forsyth County Schools a public library card. And we were determining how to do that the best way, and we determined that a virtual card would probably be the best for our kiddos in this virtual world. And even better than that is if the library card number was their school ID number, their student ID, so that all students had to do to access all public library books, anything that they have online, e-resources would be just to type in their student ID number and then a password of their choice. And I believe that we've been able to make that happen. We've been talking with the public library, and the lawyers have been talking together to work out a way that parents could opt into this for their kids. We've talked with the library. I talked with them about what happens if the child already has a public library card. What would they do? And the library said that they would look at those 2 cards and allow the parents to decide if they wanted to keep the old number or have the new student ID number. And I asked my son, what would you prefer? He's 16 and he loses everything. And he said the virtual card would be awesome. So we're really excited about this, and Kathy will tell you about the legal details.
All right. So as you know, before we were asking parents at the point of registration if they wanted their student to have just the regular paper public library card. And at that point, parents would say yes or no. And then they would have to go to the public library and actually activate that account, but the initial information, like your student's name, their address, all of that information was sent over from us to the public library, so it was a little bit easier to access the public library card. So this is kind of second generation connection to the public library in terms of the virtual nature. What we are going to do is we have added on to our open house documents for the parent permission form a section that says for all of our students, would you like to go ahead and have a virtual public library card? And it connects them to the website for their privacy policy and their information there. And the parents have a choice to opt in. If the parent opts in, then we're going to send the student information directly from SIS to the public library. On the MOU, it clearly defines what data pieces we are sharing and the time frame that we're sharing them. So at the top of the agreement, item number 1 says that we're going to be sharing this agreement or sharing this information twice a year. We didn't want students who withdraw to kind of bog up their system or them to have that information for a long period of time. So we have a system in place where we'll take out any withdrawals and we'll add in any new students at the semester point. So we'll send them in August and then again in January. So they'll have some good, clean information, and students will be able to access the public library information. The data fields that we're going to send over are listed in 3.1. And like Kristin said, the student ID is going to be their login. That's an easy number for kids to remember. It's something they use fairly often. And then they create their own password. So their password will be different. We don't send password information over to the public library. The student will actually create their own password for that particular platform. There are some other items that they need. Gender, home phone number, of course, first name, last name, address, birth date, and they also have, they collect the parent email address, and we do list this on the parent permission form because if the student has any fines or if they're missing materials, they want to make sure they can connect with the parents and let them know. They also send the parents a confirmation email after the account has been set up saying, we just want to make sure you know that this is set up for your student and that this is okay. So it's a communication tool for them as well. Those are really the main pieces. We've had certainly our legal folks, Cindy, check the MOU and look at everything. And the public library folks, their attorney has looked at it as well.
Great. I'm really excited about this. You know, you think it would be a simple thing, but there's a lot of behind-the-scenes work that Kristin and Kathy both were engaged in to help make this happen. I certainly thank Anna at our library system for her partnership. It's a great synergy between the school system and the library system. It's just more resources for our kids, more opportunities for our kids, and anything we can do to create more opportunities, you know, we ought to be doing. And I'm just so excited about it. So that I would recommend that the Forsyth County Board of Education approve the MOU with the Forsyth County Public Library System.
We have a recommendation from the superintendent. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second. We have a motion from Tom and a second from Darla. Any other discussion?
Very exciting. Thank you for your work.
It really is. Thanks so
Absolutely.
much.
Thank you.
All in favor? Unanimous. Motion passes.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
So excited about that.
Yes,
Like I say it.
so much. You can say it. You're
Well,
excited.
I'm excited about that, is, for
it
just
really is.
example, because it's online, the access to tutor.com. And if
So
our
many
staff,
opportunities.
the library staff have been sharing the data, and it's very heavily used by our students, especially students in AP courses, it's math classes, so that's free. Well, the library pays for it, but it's free to our students, so.
One of our,
All the resources together
Right.
and collaborating for the
Right.
success of the student. That's what
Right.
it's
well, one of our district initiatives obviously is literacy, and this aligns with that work. A lot of our kids take advantage of the library system, not only throughout the course of the school year, but certainly in the summer months as well. We want to make sure we don't have that regression, so it's just a great opportunity, easy access for our kids, so.
Well, and we've
good
heard in our
stuff.
Beyond Promote meetings, one of the biggest barriers to students is access.
Right.
And this gives students access no matter where they are.
Exactly.
And that's huge.
And I'm kind of, at least in the initial thinking of this, you know, it's good where we're at today, but I'm wondering what tomorrow brings. What opportunities for changes in our media center?
Yeah.
Do we even need duplication in our media. You know, just let one county thing do it. So
Yeah.
It's okay.
I'm already thinking bigger, so there's
Give her credit.
opportunity for
Well, I mean,
things to
Kristin will tell you,
expand, I
the
think.
media centers have really become the hub of our schools.
Yeah.
Probably now more than ever
In a different
before.
way, though.
In a different way, that's right.
way.
A lot of them are, like Hall Creek calls it an innovation lab, and, where kids are doing a lot of not just reading like they used to, I mean, they're engaged,
Studying.
application-based
It was kind of like we
education.
do with our park and recs. We started sharing the square fields and other rectangle fields and started doing those kind of works. And it's the taxpayer paying for it one time,
Right.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, this has been we're going on this project for many years, and I appreciate you've taken it to the next level. And I know in your department, IT, it was a lot of work, so thank you for that.
thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, last item on our agenda is governance team goals fiscal year '20. Last week, we went over the draft, and thank you for everybody working on that. And we had asked to have a little bit added on, especially goal number 4, which was making our large schools feel small. That's something we've heard from our strategic planning. I appreciate you came up with an action item on that. So has everybody had a chance to review the tweaks that have been added to this? Is there any?
Yeah, unless you have any changes, I would recommend approval of the governance team goals for FY '20. And I want to say how much I appreciate us putting them in place in July. We start meeting with our cabinet in August and make sure that these goals are well-known throughout our system so that we hit the mark.
And these goals align with Dr. Bearden's task?
Evaluation with our strategic plan, with our advanced ed work, all of it's perfectly aligned.
All right, therefore, is there a motion to approve the governance team goals for fiscal year '20?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Wes, a second by Tom. Any other discussion, thoughts? All right. And that is unanimous. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right.
Second.
Second by Nancy, all in favor. There you go. Good night, all.